Hey everyone, I've been seeing a lot of buzz lately about CO2 glass tube cutting machines and the power supplies that run them. If you've been looking into upgrading or replacing the power supply for your setup, this one keeps popping up in forums and Facebook groups. I finally got my hands on it to see what all the talk is about, and I think it's worth sharing. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. So, what exactly is this thing? It's a 130W to 180W power supply designed specifically for CO2 glass tube cutting machines. That means it's built to handle the kind of precision and consistency you need when you're cutting glass tubes, whether you're making lab equipment, decorative pieces, or something else entirely. The voltage range is 220V to 230V, which covers most workshop setups out there, so compatibility shouldn't be an issue for most people. One of the first things I noticed is how straightforward it is to install. If you've ever dealt with finicky power supplies that require a ton of wiring or adjustments, this one seems to cut through the hassle. It comes with clear instructions, and the wiring is pretty standard. Just connect it to your machine, plug it in, and you're good to go. No need to be an electrician to figure it out, which is a huge plus if you're trying to get back to work quickly. Now, let's talk performance. The adjustable wattage range is really handy because it lets you fine-tune the power output based on the thickness or type of glass you're cutting. For thinner tubes, you can dial it down to save energy and reduce heat buildup. For thicker or more durable glass, you can bump it up to 180W to get the job done without straining the machine. I tested it with a few different tube sizes, and the consistency was impressive. No flickering, no sudden drops in power, just steady, reliable performance. Another thing that stood out is the build quality. The casing feels solid, and the components inside look well made. It's not some flimsy off-brand unit that's going to overheat after an hour of use. I ran it for a solid 2 hours straight with no issues, which is exactly what you want when you're in the middle of a big project. Plus, the fan is quiet enough that it doesn't become a distraction in a workshop setting. That might seem like a small detail, but trust me, it makes a difference when you're trying to focus. I also appreciate that this power supply includes line lasers. That might not sound like a big deal, but when you're cutting glass tubes, alignment is everything. The lasers help you position the tube exactly where it needs to be before you even start cutting, which reduces waste and improves accuracy. It's one of those features that seems minor until you try cutting without it and realize how much harder it is to get things right. Now, let's talk about the practical side. If you're running a small workshop or even a home-based operation, having a power supply that can handle a range of wattages means you're not limited to just one type of project. Whether you're cutting delicate glass for jewelry or sturdy tubes for industrial use, this unit adapts to your needs. I've seen people use it for everything from prototyping to small batch production, and it seems to hold up well in all those scenarios. Of course, no product is perfect, and this one has a couple of things to keep in mind. First, it's a bit on the heavier side compared to some other power supplies I've used. That's not a deal breaker, but if you're working in a tight space or need to move your machine around a lot, it's something to consider. Second, the instructions could be a little clearer. They're not terrible, but if you're not familiar with power supplies, you might need to do a bit of troubleshooting or look up a few things online. That's not a huge issue, but it's worth mentioning. All in all, though, I think this power supply is a solid choice for anyone who needs a reliable, adjustable unit for their CO2 glass tube cutting machine. It's not the cheapest option out there, but it's far from the most expensive either. Given the performance, build quality, and included features like the line lasers, it feels like a good value for the price. If you've been on the fence about upgrading your power supply, this might be the one to go for. It's definitely earned a spot in my workshop, and I think it could do the same for yours. Link is below if you want to take a closer look.